Welcome to day 2 of the large triangle shawl U-shaped knitting. This is part 1. Okay, so how do we get into this U-shaped knitting? Well, just like we did with the demo, we remove our sinker plate and we install our connecting arm. We need to make sure we're in tension 8, and we need to make sure we're out of the turn mark and we are in KC 2. We need to bring our ribber across without knitting. We don't want to wreck any of these stitches. We need to make sure that our main bed is in part going to the right and knitting going to the left. We need to remain calm. We know that each row is 2 turns. We also know that we want to put in a little embellishment every, well, I say 36 rows, so that's 18 rows of actual knitting. So we're going to take a deep breath. We're going to put the beds together. We are locking in, and now we need to use our ribber comb, and we need to actually put weight on this piece. So take a deep breath, grab your ribber comb, and we're going to try and get it between the beds and onto these 2 pieces together. Guess I need a good ribber comb. Okay, I gotta go find a good one. Alright, this is not going to be easy, and you won't be able to see a thing that I'm doing, which is, you know, typical. So I'm actually going to use my other ribber comb. I don't like this one. All right. This one has centers marked. This is going to be really hard. Okay, I'm going to change direction here. I don't want to struggle, so I'm actually going to use 2 combs. So I'm going to lower my beds. And I'm going to put the one on the main bed on one comb and the one on the other bed on another comb. Let me see if I can do that. That was not long enough. So this one should be. Alright, we'll come back when that's done. Okay. I have very little issues getting that first ribber comb on. Now I'm going to try the next one. I'm going to come at it the same way I did the other one. From underneath. Wire mostly out. Pushing from underneath. All right. Now we're talking. Okay. We are in. Two combs are on. Going down between with this one yarn tail. Now I should have a yarn tail on the black one. It's right here. I guess they're both black, sorry. On the one that's on the river. You want to make sure that that also gets clipped so that it does not undo itself. All right, find my clip. Don't want them to get connected to anything they're not supposed to, such as a gate peg. Okay, everything looks good. Taking a deep breath. We are going to knit 2 full rows, and then we're going to start decreasing. We also need to put some weight on this thing. This is where barrel weights come in handy. On the first one, 2 barrel weights. On the one for the river, also 2 barrel weights. The big ones, not the little ones. And 50. Well, all I can say is good luck to us on this one. You need to make sure that all your stitches are down. Looks like we have enough weight. I'm not sure if we do. We are also every 36th count on the row counter. We should have a stitch come out, but I forgot to set this up properly, so we're going to back it up. We are going to make sure that that is single only. Step, step, and we're going to let it only put one out at stitch 1. I believe it's probably stitch 1 yellow. And when that happens, we will do some transfers. So let's go. Nope. 1, step, stitch, step, step. Quantity, cancel, 1, step. Position, yellow, 1, step. Uh-oh. Let's try that again. No, it should be fine. Well, maybe not. Well, you know what? We're gonna go with it. We are tension 8, both sides. We're just gonna go for it. If it kicks out a stitch, we'll be happy. So, I need to put in the yarn before I go. Fresh yarn. Making sure it's free floating. Deep breath. Looks like this one's not got any weight on it. Just going to be calm. I still have it in half pitch so that we don't have any interference if there's a mistake. still in part going to the left on the ribber, knitting on the main bed, going to knit across, see what happens. Okay, looking pretty good. Deep breath. Now we're going to be knitting on the ribber, but not on the main. Coming across. Making sure that it didn't knit where it's not supposed to. Everything looks good. Deep breath. Reversing our settings. So now we're going to knit only on the ribber, and we're going to go back up to the right side. So we're going to go full U-turn, and then we are going to reduce 1 stitch on the ribber. So let's go. Looks good. I am going to give a little rotation. On the ribber so that it's further inside. It's not a big deal. Okay, deep breath. We are now only decreasing on the ribber 1 stitch. So let's reduce that 1 stitch. Deep breath. Our next reduction will be on row count, well, actual row 4, so row count 8. I believe I did that right. Yeah, because that'll be 6, 8. So row count 8 is our next thing. I don't think this is actually reading the pattern. So on 36, every 36, we will do our patterning. I'm just going to turn this off. Not a big deal. So we're at the top, we're knitting, we're reversing, we're going with it. So that's 1. 2. Reverse the settings. I'm going to finish up for 8. 1, 2, reduce. Clean that down. Okay. Now we're going to knit another 4 rounds. So 1, 2, and okay, I said that wrong. We're going to knit another 4 rows, 4 on the row count. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to reduce again. So just to make sure that we are knitting correctly, part going to the left and part going to the left on the ribber. So part going to the right on the main, left on the ribber. Our yarn is at the top, so that's how we know it's supposed to knit there next. Here we go, nice and slow. 1, 2, double check. We're doing good. Reverse. Go again. 1, 2. Now we are going to reduce 1 stitch. Deep breath, reverse, knit across. 1, 2, reverse, knit across. Double checking, knitting, not knitting, not knitting. We're good. There's no race. We want to make sure we're doing this right. We're going to want to make sure everyone's knitting off before we continue. Reduce 1 stitch. Take a deep breath, double check your settings. We should be down 4, and we are. 1, 2, 3, 4. Deep breath. We need 3 on this one, so we need to go, make sure we're all good. Okay. Moving across. Back, reverse, back, reverse, double check. Everything looks good. We're now reducing on the ribber. Now, because we are going to knit on the ribber again, we can pull those up, reverse our settings, taking a deep breath, double checking to make sure everything's been knitting off. Everything's looking really good. We're now going to knit back to the top. So, knitting that way. 1, 2, and now reverse. And knit back. Now we're going to reduce on the ribber again. Because we are on the ribber. we can pull those up, reverse. Remember, at row 36 we're going to do something a little different. Going to knit across, taking a deep breath, double check. Okay, you need to double check this side. Everything feels good. Doesn't feel like anything's getting caught up. Doesn't feel like anything's dropping. Okay, deep breath again. And it's time to take a little break. Okay, so now we are calm. Everything's going good. Reverse our settings. So we're knitting on the top because the yarn's on the top. And when we get to the river, we will reduce again. So going across. And back. Reverse our settings. Now we reduce the river. And we can pull it up because we're on the river. Knitting on the river. And then on the main. Okay, we're on the river. And back. Reverse, reverse, go back. All right, we are now going to reduce the river again. No, I must leave those up. Reversing our stitches, double checking. Deep breath. We're going to finish these rows and then we're going to do something a little different. Okay, this is where we can put in a little embellishment. I was going to do every second stitch, but that's a lot of stitches that we have to transfer. So I'm only going to transfer on the stitches with a 0. So we're going to transfer 50 to the left, 40 to the left, 30 to the left, 20 to the left. I think you get the idea. 10 to the left. We're going to pick on the zeros, put them together. I know it's not the same. 10 to the left. Okay, make sure that those empty ones come forward. You don't want to forget to knit them. Now on the bottom, we want to have the same. So 50 to the left. Don't pull it too far up because you don't want to accidentally have it knit off when it's not supposed to. And if you notice, I am going in the same direction so that there is flow. Now for this last one, I'm going to go one more inward so that I keep the edge as 2. Okay, make sure that those are forward, but not all the way up, just in line with the other ones. Deep breath. We're on the top. You can see by where your yarn is. Reverse your settings. Taking a deep breath. We're going to knit one more time. And then we are going to, when we get back to the river, we're going to reduce. So, going across. 1. 2. Reverse your settings. Reduce. You can bring that forward, knitting on the river, making sure everything's okay, everything's happy. Deep breath, knitting across. Okay, and now we're going to knit on the main bed. Everything looks good. Reverse your settings. And when we get back down to the river, we will reduce again. Here we go. 1, 2, reverse our settings, reduce again. Should be at 49 on the river. And still at 59 on the main bed. Taking a deep breath. Going to knit across and then come back. Reversing. Knitting across. Reverse. And reduce. Double checking, we are knitting, working our way. One, 2, reverse, 3, 4. Now we reduce again. Knitting, knitting, reversing our settings. This is row 50. Deep breath. We're at 47 on the ribber and still 59 on the main. This main one will not change, but this side in the main will change. So now we're going to knit across. Reverse. And now we're going to knit three rounds. So what is that? 28 times 2. So row 56, we will need to reduce the ribber. We should be up on the main for that one. So we are knitting, not knitting, knitting. Okay. So row 56. 1, 2, reverse. This is 3. And that's 4. This is row 56. We're now reducing the ribber. Remember, we're up on the main bed, so we have to make sure that we don't pull up the ribber ones. Row 60, we will be reducing again. And row 72 is our next fancy transfers. Okay, so here we go. Knitting on, not knitting. One, 2. Deep breath. Sure we're knitting there. We are. 2. All right. I think I need to put some more weight on this side. So after I do my reduction, I'm going to take one of these and I'm going to put it up in the corner. To me, that just seems safer. Okay, so we're at row 60. We've done our reduction. We need to reverse our settings. We're at the top. We're going to knit on the top. (64), we are going to do another reduction. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Everything's looking good. So that is row 64 of over 500 actual rows of knitting. So will we be at this for a while? Absolutely. This is going to be fun. So we will come back in a little while. Coffee break. Start again in the next video.